Assalamu alaikum. Today I will be going over a little bit of what sabr is in context of this beautiful month of Ramadan. When we think of patience, what comes to mind? For me, it's the children of Gaza. It's the parents of Gaza. It's the people in Syria, people in Burma, people all over the world that are suffering. And they're losing their loved ones, but they're still standing steadfast. That is why I believe faith and patience are interconnected. You will not learn patience or how to restrain yourself in times when emotions are heightened, if you're not absolutely certain that Allah is there and He will do justice. Our patience serves as a litmus of our faith in Allah and the Qadr, which is predestination. Therefore, this beautiful connection between tawakkul and sabr is basically the crux of our entire existence. Now, patience is understandable and difficult in trying times because you see the goal of Allah's pleasure. However, patience in ease and in desires is difficult. You hold yourself from these things, from any lustful acts or holding yourself from food and drinks. And this is the sabr in Ramadan. And actually the word sabr is used interchangeably with Sawm in the Quran. Sawm meaning fasting. Ramadan is a month of patience as the person who observes fasting is patient regarding acts of obedience and avoiding acts of disobedience. He abstains from the permissible things he used to enjoy out of obedience to Allah Almighty. Meanwhile, he stops himself from doing acts of disobedience and forces himself to do many righteous acts, many voluntary things like the night prayers or giving charity or maintaining kinship ties. Now, all of these things are very difficult, yet we do these specifically in Ramadan to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Quran it says, "And seek help through patience and prayer, and indeed it is difficult except for the humbly submissive to Allah, who are certain that they will meet their Lord and that they will return to Him." Now this is a very important ayah to dissect, because the part where it says, "Except that they are humbly submissive to Allah," this shows that our submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what will inculcate that virtue of faith. When we realize that our Lord is the Malik, and He is the Malik of all the worlds, and He knows what is good for us and He knows what is not. That is what will help us come up with patience, to deal with patience. Abdullah ibn Masud said most people on the Day of Judgment and most people will not enter Jannah because of the good deeds they did, but instead the hardships they bore, and they were patient in those hard times. Now all of these things, when you look at through the Tarbiyah lens, with our children are a blessing, but they're also a test. So practicing this virtue is extremely important with them. A way I believe this virtue can be practiced or made better is by zikr and dua. That is what I try to do, specifically in this Ramadan, specifically around the time of iftar when things are very difficult for us, when we are hungry. It's very important to remember zikr and dua. Now lastly, I think teaching sabr to kids is just a huge commitment. And so just know that they won't get good in a day or two. And you have to try to lead by example. A very good activity that I can think of is planting trees, or any plants for that matter, because it really, really helps us be patient and wait and see the fruits of our labor. Kids this way can do sadqa jariyah, they can help their earth, and at the same time, practice this beautiful virtue. This was about patience during the month of Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.